Hello, and welcome to VG Guide. Join us as we step through the Vainglory Patch 3.8 update. This update is huge, with a ton of balance changes, item changes, plus a new hero, Inara, the protector of the forest, plus 5 new skins, new seasonal hats, social pings, and more. Stay tuned as we run down this epic update, and make sure you check the full patch notes. You'll find a link in the description below. First up, we take a look at the item changes. As part of SEMC's meta shakeup, there's changes to 62 of the items in total, plus 1 new item, War Mail. Plus there's changes to 19 of the heroes. With this update, SEMC has stated they're addressing 3 main things in general. 1. A lack of distinction between weapon and crystal damage styles. 2. Energy being a non-factor on most heroes. 3. Unclear windows of opportunity, power. As such, many of the items and heroes have seen a reduction in energy and recharge and increased cooldowns. This opens opportunity to punish enemies. If an opponent uses an ability ineffectively, punish them with your abilities while theirs is on cooldown. There's some changes to last hitting and trickle gold too. Now, you can recoup some missed last hit gold by just being near an enemy minion when it dies. This update also sees changes to address specific things in 5v5. 1. 2v1 matchups in the side lanes. 2. Lanes feeling uninteractive or unnecessary. 3. Jungle camps taken frequently by laners. 4. Lack of strategic late-game options. 5. Unbalanced orb buffs. 6. Tanks everywhere. We'll need to see how the actual meta pans out over the coming weeks, but for now, let's jump into the bigger changes to some of the items. Eve of Harvest and Serpent Mask. Damage storage for both of these items is reduced by 33%. Aegis. Shield is reduced by over 50%. Atlas Pauldron now provides no shield and 20 less armor. Cooldown is also increased by more than double. Crucible. Activation cooldown has increased from 45 seconds to 75 seconds. Light armor and shield both receive changes, making a path for the new Tier 2 item, War Mail. This item offers both shield and armor and builds into Aegis, Capacitor Plate, Rook's Decree, or Slumbering Husk. Metal Jacket. Armor is reduced from 130 to 90. Shield is removed entirely and cost increased to 2,400 gold. Reflex Block. Cooldown increased from 45 seconds to 75 seconds. Slumbering Husk. Gets a nerf to armor but a buff to shield. Burst threshold is also increased to 25%. Also, selling and rebuying Slumbering Husk no longer resets the cooldown. Tension Bow increased from 2,150 to 2,700 gold, increased armor pierce, and a new passive for bonus damage. Remember, to see all the item changes, check out the official patch notes for Vainglory or download the VG Guide app for free, which contains all the new info from patch 3.8. Next up, heroes. There are changes to 19 of the Vainglory heroes. Anka receives changes across her whole kit. Arden's Vanguard, his A, duration is halved from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Gauntlet, his ult, also receives a reduction in duration. Baron's Porcupine Mortar, his A, has decreased energy cost in the early game, but higher as the skill points increase. Catherine receives changes to both Merciless Pursuit, her A, and her ult, Blast Tremor. Celeste gets hit with a raft of energy changes across all of her abilities. Note, Overdriving Core Collapse, her B, now grants a 0 energy cost. Churn Walker receives changes to Hook and Chain, his A, and Trespass, his ult, both receiving increased cooldowns. Grumpjaw gets changes across all 3 abilities. Idris now only needs 100 weapon crystal to unlock Divergent Paths, his perk, down from 120. Jewel gets a rework to her perk Heavy Plating. She now takes 35% reduced damage when hit from the front or sides. Kestrel receives energy changes to all 3 of her abilities. Koshka's Blood Rush, her perk, is reduced by 1 second. Both Pouncy Fun, her A, and Twirly Death, her B, get changes to their damage output. Cruel receives multiple changes to damage and cooldown across his kit. Lyra receives changes to Principal Arcanum, her perk, and Imperial Sigil, her A. Maylene, in addition to finally receiving an awesome skin, which we'll check out later, receives a change to her basic attack range and Enchanted Transformation Light, her alt. Petal's Munyon range, her perk, gets a range increase from 11 to 16. Reem's perk, Frostguard, sees changes to the fortified health generation. Scarf's Spitfire, his A, sees an increase in energy cost in later levels. Taka gets various changes across his perk, House Kamuha. Kaiten, his A, and X Retsu, his alt. Vox sees changes in energy to Sonic Zoom, his A, and Pulse, his B. So enough about numbers, abilities, and meta. Let's jump into the juicy fun stuff, new content. First up, let's see what might be some of the best Vainglory artwork yet in the form of Inara. This forest spirit thrives in the jungle with her dual blades and wisps, which interact with Treants, granting her vision and move speed. Inara is available with the rare Nightblade skin, which is simply stunning. For more info on this hero's abilities, check out the official Vainglory Hero Spotlight video. You'll find a link in the description below. There's also 4 other new skins in the game: Black Cat Flicker and Trick or Treat Maylene, Headless Idris, and Rainbow Glaive. All 5 skins are sick, but which do you think looks best? Vote now in our video poll. For the Halloween season, 3.8 also sees the introduction of new hats and social pings, along with a host of other changes. Remember to check out the patch notes and familiarize yourself with the changes before heading into your next ranked match. VG Guide, your pocket guide for Vainglory, available for free on iOS and Android.